Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum. I am your host Faisal Raza Khan and you are watching Foresight. Viewers, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif just visited Saudi Arabia soon after the visit of high-level Saudi delegation led by Foreign Minister Faisal bin Farhan visited Islamabad to finalize the aspects of kingdom's investments in various sectors of Pakistan. For decades, both brotherly countries enjoyed a strong bilateral relationship, especially regarding the defense, and with economic cooperation being a vital aspect and component of this relationship. Saudi Arabia is Pakistan's largest trading partner in Middle East and also among the top 5 regarding the remittances. The Prime Minister visit aimed to strengthen economic cooperation, attract investment and enhance trade between two brotherly countries. During the meetings with the Prime Minister, Saudi ministers categorically said that Pakistan is the priority of Saudi investments, as progress of Pakistan is the progress of Saudi Arabia. The Prime Minister's visit is very important in a sense that Saudi Arabia under the Vision 2030 is all set to have 25 billion US dollars investments in Pakistan, and as a first tranche, the US dollar 5 billion is going to be invested in various sectors including IT, mining, agriculture and all others. We are discussing the key takeaways of the Prime Minister's visit to Saudi Arabia, the potential areas of investment and the impact on Pakistan's economy. To discuss this very important area, we have in our studios Dr. Manzoor Ahmad. He is the former ambassador to World Trade Organization and also the senior fellow at Pakistan Institute of Development Economics. Most welcome to you, sir. Thank you very much for your arrival. We have in our studios Ms. Saira Ijaz. She is the analyst and from ISSI. Most welcome to you, Saira. Thank you very much. And we have joining us Mr. Ahmad Farooq. He is the ambassador to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia of Pakistan, and he has witnessed whole of the Prime Minister's visit, and we are having the first ever question to Mr. Ambassador. Mr. Ambassador, what's the significance of Prime Minister's second meeting with the Crown Prince in 1 month? Discuss Saudi Arabia's comprehensive investments plan in Pakistan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim ji, thank you for taking me on your show. The Prime Minister's visit to Riyadh was in the context of the World Economic Forum meeting which Saudi Arabia hosted. You rightly said this was his second visit to the kingdom in a span of 1 month. And if you recall, when he visited during Ramadan, a joint statement was issued after his meeting with His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, in which a clear indication was given by Saudi Arabia that it is ready to invest as an initial amount of US dollars 5 billion. Following that visit, we had the visit of a senior Saudi ministerial delegation led by His Highness Prince Faisal bin Farhan, the foreign minister, and which had ministers of all the relevant ministries that are involved in the different projects that currently the two sides are discussing. So we had detailed interactions in Islamabad, and then the Prime Minister has now visited the kingdom from 27th to 30th April, and during his current visit, he again had individually detailed interactions with all the relevant ministers. And in these meetings, again, the focus was on how quickly and how soundly we can realize the potential of investments coming from Saudi Arabia into all the priority sectors that you have already mentioned in your question.
What's the meaning of this when the Saudi ministers say that Pakistan is the priority for Saudi investments, and progress of Pakistan is the progress of Saudi Arabia?
Well, I'm sure we all know that relations between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia are beyond just political or economic. It's a brotherly relation, and the leadership of Saudi Arabia and the people of Saudi Arabia, they feel for Pakistan, and they say that they have an interest in a progressive, prosperous Pakistan. In all the meetings, we consistently received this message from the different ministers, and also by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, that we want to see Pakistan developing as a prosperous country, and the prosperity of Pakistan is the prosperity of Saudi Arabia.
So, Mr. Ambassador, people of Pakistan are anxiously waiting for the visit of His Highness Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, as Prime Minister also reiterated his invite to him. So, approximately when he is going to visit Pakistan, because earlier when the Foreign Minister Faisal bin Farhan visited with a high-level delegation, lots of aspects were already finalized between the two countries for the visit of the Crown Prince.
Well, the indication is that the visit, inshallah, will take place very soon, and the exact dates and the logistics of the visit are in the process of being worked out. So I can't at this point give you an exact date, but we should find out soon enough. And all these interactions that are happening, in the past few weeks, are exactly part of the preparation for the visit, so that when the Crown Prince comes, we have some substantive outcomes from that visit.
Your point well taken. Dr. Manzoor, when we are talking about the Saudi investments in Pakistan, at least $25 billion of investments, and the first tranche of the first phase will be of $5 billion. So, focusing on energy, information technology, minerals, defense and agriculture sector. How do you see that investment? Do you think that that will boost not only the foreign direct investment in Pakistan, but also give a more impetus to Pakistan's economy?
Yes, sure. It's a huge investment, and equivalent to what China did from in the last decade under the CPAC,
definitely under the
2014. So it's about, that was 25. This 25, and this can make all the areas that you identified. Maybe I can go a little bit details as to how it's going to make a difference. First, on the mineral side, I mean, Pakistan has untapped potential, huge. I mean, it's estimated conservatively at $6 trillion.
Obviously.
But we hardly have, if you look at the world's export of about $1,500 billion dollars, Pakistan has, just 1 billion. It's less than 0.1%. So we have all sorts of minerals because, I'd studied geology.
Yeah, definitely. I know that. Yeah.
So we have identified something like over 90 minerals which are found here. About half of them are commercially exploited. But we hardly export a few, just 1 billion total.
Obviously.
So this investment will make a big difference to our mineral side.
Obviously, when Saudi Arabia is committed to have initially $1 billion into the Ricodec only.
Ricodec, I think I could come later on a little bit more detail, but so the second big thing is agriculture. You see, the government is currently in the process of this green initiative, green revolution. So it's estimated that if we just are able to bring our average yield of various crops just to international level, not to the best of best, but just international level, at least our farmers, our producers can gain another 11 billion. That's a very conservative estimate. And one of the problems we had was that there was hardly any investment going in agriculture. And if we have this investment, for example, I give you from this year, in the last 9 months, our exports of agriculture products almost doubled. It used to be about 2.5 billion. Already in 9 months, it has crossed the target of 6 billion. So we hope to get to around 7 billion.
Particularly the rice exports.
Yeah, the rice exports were the star performer. I mean, they crossing already 3 billion. Partially the weather, and partially because India banned it. But then many other crops are, like vegetables and like fruit and and many other things, sesame seed and everything is about 40%, 50% up. I mean, this was the best performing area in the last 9 months. Our textile, although that's 60%, but that don't really grow. This made a big difference.
At least lots of encouraging news coming straight away from the agriculture
From
sector.
agriculture sector, yeah.
Definitely. Saira, when we are talking about the significant impacts of the perpetual conflicts going on, like Ukraine, like Palestine, and we have witnessed in the Red Sea as well, and the Gulf region particularly, we are also very much affected because of that. Saudi economy particularly, because that's not going to be a positive thing if the Saudi economy actually hurt. So, because of the Saudi investments in Pakistan. So, how do you see that situation overall in the region?
Saudi Arabia is one of the most important and the major, largest oil producing country in the Middle East or in the Gulf countries. So, if these different and the conflicts and the
Perpetual things.
perpetuation of these conflicts in different regions will badly affect the oil pricing in the international market, investors' confidence vis-a-vis to these disruptions, and then comes the regional stability, not only within the Middle East but in the other regions as well, and we are looking at from the Saudi economy's lens. I'm right now talking about this. Then comes the trade disruptions. These are all the factors which are involved in the perpetuation of conflicts going on in Ukraine, in Palestine, and in other regions as well. So diplomatic relations will badly affected, not only in the Gulf region but in the entire other regions as well. And as you mentioned that we are also affecting other countries, other regions are also effective, and the humanitarian and refugee pressures. So I guess there is a need for the international community to sit together to look into these things, that it will have direct impact on the oil pricing of international community, and as oil pricing goes up, the entire world suffers because
Definitely,
of it.
you are absolutely right. Mr. Ambassador, you have definitely witnessed and the meetings and the body language of the Saudi delegations. How much they are confident about the current government's initiatives and determination to invest in different sectors, as we have already mentioned?
Well, the sense that I got, from the visit of the delegation, and then again the interactions which our Prime Minister has had during his recent visit is very positive. They really want this time around to make progress, and we've lost a lot of time over the last few years where the real potential of the economic partnership has not really been able to deliver. So I personally see a lot of interest from the Saudi side as well as from our side. There is a determination that this time around we have to make this a success, as it affects the prosperity of Pakistan and the strength of our economic relation. As the Prime Minister has repeatedly highlighted to the public as well as to the Saudi side, we want to now transcend from just a brotherly relation to a strong and mutually beneficial economic relations between the two countries.
Your point well taken. It is very heartening to know that Pakistani delegation and permanently Prime Minister has given his impetus to the already fragile situation regarding economy, and he is focusing upon. Saira, when we are talking about, because the government's will and determination is very clear, that they want to get Pakistan out of this turmoil-like situation. So, when we are talking about Saudi Arabia, they are helping a lot to Pakistan, but this is now going to be an economic partnership in future. So, how do you see enhancing industrial collaboration, joint ventures in technology development regarding agriculture, food security, and even information technology?
Actually, it's very important, and I guess it's very timely, and it's the biggest opportunity for Pakistan to grab this opportunity and to utilize it for the to pull the country out of this critical economic situation and instability right now our economy is suffering. In this, I would recommend that Pakistan needs to focus, the Pakistani government needs to focus to further enhance Pak Saudi economic. I would emphasize on economic relations, is that promoting investment opportunities. Then there should be business friendly I have providing a business friendly frameworks, and then ensuring regulatory clarity, so that to get investors' confidence. Because only mere by saying, if our PM is showing his will on the part of
definitely your point is very important, carrying
offering
forward your point
incentives, and one
particularly.
last thing, offering incentives tailored according to the Saudi investment.
Yeah, definitely,
investments.
definitely. This is the very important
Tailored,
point. When we are talking about Dr. Manzoor, that do you think that under the auspices of the Special Investment Facilitation Council, there must be a secure, transparent, efficient dispute resolution and a legal system intact to decide matters in quick time and give confidence to the investors? Because investor confidence is very important if we want foreign direct investments in abundance in Pakistan particularly.
Yes, it's extremely important. And if you look at, we are trying to negotiate this free trade agreement with Gulf corporations.
Definitely,
And one of the
definitely.
first things they insist is that
Dispute
investment,
resolution, yes,
dispute resolution.
yes.
And unfortunately, with Pakistan, we had one of the highest number of disputes in the international tribunals, with the World Bank, with the London Court of Arbitration. We had 14 already. I mean, we know about Recordec and maybe Broadsheet, or a few that come
Obviously.
in the newspaper, but there are many we don't. So we need some, because our courts take too long, and the investors, they don't have that much patience, because a commercial dispute can take something like 10 years.
Definitely.
So they don't want to trust on that, and many countries have their domestic settlement system. South Korea, some have ombudsman, some have some. But we need such kind of things, so that before a dispute goes to international, so that it gets resolved.
Some of the experts say that, like Abu Dhabi Global Market, ADGM, like Dubai International Financial Center, DIFC, or the Singapore International Commercial Court. So how do you see that type of aspects? Because these are very important if we support SIFC and its initiatives to bring investments in Pakistan.
Well, perhaps that would be a more long-term thing for the time being, because those dispute settlement systems work, for other countries also. If the two countries have dispute, they go to these, and it used to be London, and now all these.
Okay.
But for Pakistan itself, we need some mechanism so that our issues don't go up in London or with the World Bank, etc.
Definitely. Your point well taken. Mr. Ambassador, after the Prime Minister's very important visit, it is expected that a high-level Saudi delegation is going to visit Pakistan from the different public and private companies, and they are going to have very significant upcoming visit. So how do you see that particularly?
Yes, actually, this was part of the discussions and the plan that after the visit of a government delegation, there will be a visit by a private sector delegation. So we are currently in the process of coordinating that visit, and inshallah, it is expected to happen very, very soon.
So, Mr. Ambassador, whether Saudi Arabia is still interested in Gawada, and it is the setting up of oil refinery over there, because this is the old dream of both the countries, that to have such a type of setup there in Gawada, because that is nearest to the kingdom as well, and they want to get benefit out of Gawada port as well.
Yes, I mean, this is still very much on cards. There were discussions during the visit of the Saudi ministerial delegation to Pakistan, and during his recent visit to the kingdom again, the Prime Minister personally had these interactions with the Saudi Minister for Energy, as well as In that, there was also the representatives of Aramco. So these issues are still being discussed, and in the coming days, there is a plan on how this will be taken forward.
Your point well taken, Mr. Ambassador. Saira, when we are talking about the China-Pakistan economic corridor and the relative special economic zones, how do you see the Saudi investments, attraction of Saudi investments in the CPEC projects, particularly in the economic zones?
It's very important because Saudi Arabia also sees CPAC or the BRI as the connectivity project which connects Asia, Africa and Europe. So they have a great interest in investing these projects, and when it comes to CPAC and the SEZs, it's there are different news that Saudi investors are very much interested. Now again it comes to us that we should work on the trade barriers and on providing congenial and investor friendly environment to them. And I guess when it comes to industry and agricultural sector, as Ambassador Sahab also mentioned, there is a huge potential, and people are Saudi government is very much interested, their investors are very much interested. So I think we need to focus on reducing all those obstacles which are there to and to create such environment.
Definitely, there must have to be a clarity for the foreign investors to invest in Pakistan. Dr. Manzoor, whether Saudi Arabia's investment of, we were earlier talking about that, $1 billion into the Rikudik copper gold project. Do you not think that such an investment into a mining sector which is untapped, as you have rightly mentioned about, that will encourage other investors to come and invest in mining sector, and that will boost also this whole sector to be more lucrative for the investors, also for Pakistan as well?
Yes, I fully share your view. For example, in case of Rikudik, this 1 billion, so the government of Pakistan has wisely decided to give its own 25% share to Saudi Arabia. Also, in addition, it has offered Saudi Arabia to build a railway connection for freight, for moving all this from the ore side to Gwadar. So, and once that infrastructure is completed, it will not just be for this, but all sorts of minerals that are lying there, because once the communication system is there, for the time being, the most expensive thing is getting something from the ore to mouth to the end user.
Obviously, your point well taken. Mr. Ambassador, how Pakistan can get maximum benefits out of Riyadh launched Future Investment Initiative as a part of the Vision 2030?
Well, Vision 2030 is a comprehensive vision for the transformation of the economy of Saudi Arabia to move to a post-oil economy. So the intent here is that in future, oil may not be the main source of revenue for the kingdom, and they need to move towards other sectors from which their economy can benefit. Within that, they are focusing on a number of areas, which includes information technology, which includes tourism, hospitality. And as a result of that, there are some huge mega projects that are ongoing within the kingdom. So we have the opportunity of benefiting not only by, in terms of providing trained human resource to the kingdom for the execution of these projects, but at the same time, there are a lot more new business opportunities that are available to our private sector to take advantage from them. So information technology is one of the areas where we do have a competitive advantage, and our IT companies are in the process of establishing local offices and getting a share in the pie. At the same time, construction sector offers a lot of opportunities for our construction companies as well as for our human resource. All we need to do is to focus on better training of our human resource, and that certainly will help us in getting better paid jobs, which can translate into more foreign remittances. In the hospitality sector, again,
you're absolutely right, Mr. Ambassador. Mr. Ambassador, you have absolutely correctly pointed out that at over 2.7 million Pakistani expatriates are there in Saudi Arabia, a great source of remittances to the country. Do you not think that, as you have rightly mentioned, that it's the high time that we have to focus and send academically sound, highly skilled, professional manpower to Saudi Arabia, because we have seen last year in 2023 that there was a very minimal manpower exported to Saudi Arabia and the Gulf countries. So do you think that this is now the time that we have to focus on skills, highly academic people and very professional to Saudi Arabia, so that they can earn more and have more remittances from the Gulf countries?
Yes, you are very right. And actually, this is what the future is. Unfortunately, a majority of our workforce here, out of the 2.7 million that you mentioned, is very low skilled. And the demand in the kingdom is changing, significantly. They want now high skilled construction workers, hospitality workers, as I mentioned earlier, and then beyond that, IT related workforce. So what we need to do is to really focus on improving our vocational training system, as well as our higher education system, in order to produce highly skilled and qualified workforce that can be employed in the kingdom, and they can be, give a significant boost to the remittances that we receive from this country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador, for your precious time, and thank you very much for your candid views. I know you are a very professional and seasoned diplomat, so wish you all the best for your rest of work there in the kingdom. So bring lots of laurels for Pakistan. Thank you very much for your joining online. Thank you very much, sir. So nice of you. Saira, when we are talking about having at least 75,000 IT professionals we are producing every year, and there are lots of demand there in Saudi Arabia under the Vision 2030 different projects. So how do you see that how they are this youth bulge is going to contribute into the Pakistan's economy if they are lined towards a professional career of the future, and particularly towards Saudi Arabia, where the demand is about the IT professionals there?
They have the power to revolutionize our economy, I would rather say. IT related or IT skilled individuals are not only demanded in Saudi Arabia, they are demanded in the whole world, and they are demanded in our world, in our country as well. So it's there should be an IT related emergency should be implemented in country. I would rather again emphasize emergency. It's a matter of, because now we have seen that there is some work being done, but it's very sluggish in nature. Government, all provincial governments, all sorts of relevant related departments need to take up this issue on emergency priority basis. Our population bulge is another problem. Our youth is expanding like anything, and they are going nowhere. Right from the beginning, right from the primary level of education, we have to inculcate these things into our kids, into our youth, into our children, that future
there must have to be an implementable roadmap for the youth to engage.
I would again here comes the role of state as well, because there is a class which can afford and which can, they understand. Again over here, even awareness campaign is also needed. We need to, because there is a certain, and which is the largest section of our society, of our class, who are not even aware. They are not economically that much, they cannot afford and they can to send their kids, in our state backed institutions.
Means of facilitation are actually not there.
And
the awareness is not there.
Has to do something about it.
Dr. Manzoor, when we are talking about Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, underpinned by the digital transformation actually, and creating an attractive market for Pakistan's growing digital sector, as Pakistan's IT exports are actually, this is heartening really to Kingdom, these exports are increased by up to $100 million in recent years. So in past 2 years particularly. So how do you see that this IT potential is going to give Pakistan not only the economic benefits, but also enhance the trade volume and to capture the Saudi market as well?
Yes, IT has indeed huge potential. We just look at next door India, and we are not even a fraction of about 2.5 billion something. And this is also more recent that it's been going. So recently, I think Pakistan participated in this LEAP conference, what's called as Davos of in Saudi Arabia. And I think a large number, 74 IT companies of Pakistan participated. Many signed memorandums and things, and so it's already moving in that direction.
And got millions of dollars orders actually
yes,
from
yes.
that conference particularly. So why not we diversify our trade, because that is the linchpin, that is the area which is needed a lot of impetus, lot of focus, enhance our industry, stress upon value addition and focus on export-led growth. So as Pakistan's exports to Saudi Arabia are just $563.47 million, huge potential, and potential is approximately $20 billion. So do you think that and even the volume, the trade volume is actually largely in favor of Saudi Arabia. So what we have to do to enhance, because these 3-4 areas are very important.
Well, largely in favor of Saudi Arabia because we import a lot of
crude oil
and
related oil products
and plastics, etc.
Definitely.
But you're very right, Pakistan is not at all diversified. I mean, our 60% of our products is textile related. And then 60% of our market is US and EU, UK.
Yes.
So and this has been like that for long time.
Unfortunately, we haven't even tapped the regional markets
yes,
yet.
regional we are big, and because we are unable to reform our trade policy system. We have one of the most protected regime in the world. I mean, we don't let anything come in. You see, things for exports, you have to let things come in, get processed, and then go. You have to be part of a global value chain.
Obviously.
So that things come quickly, they make in components. In the last 20 years, the whole global trading pattern has changed. Pakistan had not adjusted to this
because if recent figures we just go through, 31% growth in the trade exports to Saudi Arabia. But those exports were based upon rice and meat. No large scale manufacturing, we don't have machinery and the IT products or something like that. So innovation and value addition is missing actually.
Yes, when we say 31%, it's a very low base. So it becomes 30 or 50%. But the world average of export of engineering goods is something like 50%. In case of Pakistan's exports, despite our light engineering products, it's less than 5%. So we have to focus on that and get into global value chains, but we need to reform our trade policy here.
Obviously, you are absolutely right. Saira, the planning minister statement, you obviously gone through that.
Yeah.
If Pakistan $100 billion export market in the next 7 to 8 years, he is actually foreseeing it. It would achieve a significant economic takeoff, he said. And then he said that Pakistan could become $2 trillion economy with 7% of the growth till 2047 and 3 trillion mark by maintaining 9% growth.
Yeah.
So these are very lucrative dreams, but practically what we are doing.
Actually, I must say that it's a very ambitious statement.
Obviously, it is ambitious. He wants that Pakistan grow, but we also want it. But how?
How? In it, I have charted out some points, and that is, first of all, we need to have an optimism. We need to adopt that.
Definitely.
That Pakistan can do it. Pakistan has that potential. We have that labor force. We have that will now. It is very clear and it's written on the wall. Then we need to focus and look into the eyes of the challenges ahead. Be it in our internal challenges, be our regional challenges, our international challenges Pakistan is facing. Then comes the importance. I guess we need to focus and emphasize more and more on importance on export-led growth. As Ambassador Sahab was mentioning, that it's very narrow. Our export-led lens is very, very narrow. We need to go adopt broader. We need to focus on it. Then comes the long-term vision. which is not restricted to change of governments. There should be a long-term vision for this state. Only then we will be able to enhance our trade, and with not only with Saudi, but with other countries. Then comes the policy alignment and implementation. Policy alignment with the US, with the Saudi investors, with the Saudi government is very important. Providing them, again, I'm repeating that thing, that providing the business matchmaking initiatives should be there. There should be investor tailored size, customized investment plans, or the offices which can facilitate and which can convince them for investment. All these things are very important. And lastly, the international cooperation. We need to reduce our conflicts. We need to focus on resolving our issues with our neighbors as much as we can. It's a bilateral thing.
It is obvious that when you are going to have an economic centric state, you must have to go away with the conflicts. Definitely.
You have
to be very peaceful, because ultimately peace is required to flourish. Dr. Manzoor, when we are talking about Pakistan-Saudi relationship, there are lots of potential available in all other sectors. We are talking a lot about IT and agriculture and mining and all that, but transport, logistics, tourism, hospitality industry, education and healthcare, we have lots of potential to collaborate in between. How do you see that in those areas particularly?
Yes, obviously. I mean, we cannot just leave it to agriculture and minerals. I mean, all these areas that you just mentioned are important. And there's a need to go parallel. It cannot be that we just for the time we do minerals and 5 years down the line. All these things at the same time, because you see, earlier you were discussing 2.7 million Pakistanis there. So if the investment comes in, 2.7 there, it's, hundreds of millions can benefit from that.
Yeah, definitely. You are absolutely right that if we have a very professional, academically very sound, highly skilled manpower over there,
Yes.
they can also bring investment into the country, because they are going to be the source of that, not only the remittances. Thank you very much, Dr. Manzoor, for your presence here in the studios. Thank you very much for your very elaborative views. Thank you very much, Saira, for being here in the studios. Viewers, as you have listened to our panelists, it is a dire need that Pakistan-Saudi brotherly relations must be converted into a mutually beneficial economic cooperation. That is very important. Saudi private sector companies, their heads are going to visit Pakistan, as Ambassador Ahmad Farooq rightly said. Crown Prince and the Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, is going to visit Pakistan soon. Definitely the trade must have to be diversified if we want to get more access into the international market, to capture that market and earn more of the foreign exchange reserves. Also, the export-led growth is very important, value addition, and we have to sink in to the global market as well, and also the part of the global value chain. That is very important to enhance our exports to the world, and policy decisions and the policy alignment is very important. One of our panelists said that it is important that we have to align ourselves with the Saudi investors, and dispute resolution mechanism is going to be the backbone of any investment in Pakistan, particularly the upcoming Saudi investment here in different sectors. So this is all from today's Foresight. It's time to sign off. Allah Hafiz.